You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
At one point, Formula One racing was considered the most dangerous job in the world because of the number of casualties. But it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be dangerous. Today I'm going to persuade you about why professional racing, such as Formula One, should not be allowed to race in the rain. The reason why I'm credible to speak about this is because I've been a Formula One fan for many years now. In addition, I've done my research. The reason you should listen is because you'll be smarter on the dangers of driving in the rain. First, I'll begin with the problem, loss of control. Second, the cause, accidents. And third, my solution. And fourth, what the opposition had to say. Now that you know what I want to persuade you about today, on why professional racing such as Formula One should not be allowed to race in the rain, I will now begin with the problem. Loss of control. The AAA, on their website, they remind drivers that you're likely to come across hydroplaning, and that happens because your wheels go over a puddle of water, and you'll lose control of not only the wheel, but the steering wheel. This is why it's important to always drive with two hands on the wheel. And this happens because as the water falls, it creates standing water. So now you're essentially driving over water, and the rubber on the wheels no longer have anything to grip onto. So reducing the traction, and this can lead to losing control. And another problem is the lack of visibility. The wheels are spinning so fast, it creates a spray of water, as you can see in the photo above. And this clouds the vision of anybody behind you. As Formula One driver Charles Leclerc in the interview, he says, when we say we can't see a thing, we literally cannot see a thing. And so as a driver, you have to trust that the drivers around you see each other and that they all see the braking point and brake on time. Now that I've spoken about the problem, I will now get into the cause. Accidents. When you had the lack of traction and the lack of visibility, the chances of you causing an accident increase. And the safety improvements that they make to the cars, it makes them more heavy. So car-to-car impact, there's significantly more mass being generated. All that energy has to go somewhere, and it can't always be contained. This year, July 1st, unfortunately we lost the 18-year-old driver. His name was Liliano Montalvo. The reason this happened was because, as you can see in the photo, he lost the rear because of hydroplaning. And because he lost the rear, he found himself in the middle of the track. And because of the lack of visibility, as you can see up here, you can't really tell how many cars there are, but there's 3 cars. And so there's no visibility, so the cars behind him can't see what's happening in front of them. And at full speed, the driver ran into him, killing Liliano on impact. When accidents happen, drivers may get injured, but unfortunately, some drivers aren't able to get up and walk away. Now that I've spoken about the cause, I can now get into my solution. History. We've all heard the saying before, history repeats itself, and this case is no different. Everything's recorded from fastest lap time to slowest lap time, etc. We have the data. Use the information from past races to judge whether or not it's safe enough to race. In addition, listen to the drivers. Before this accident happened, before the driver lost the front mirrors and hit the barriers, Formula One driver Sebastian Vettel, he went on radio and he told his race engineer that the session needs to be red flagged. Essentially, he stopped. And after seeing what happened, he went back on radio to express himself. What the bleep did I say? Listen to the drivers. They're the ones that are out there. They're the ones that feel the tires, the brakes, the steering. At most race control, they're in the pit lane, but for the most part, they're sitting in an office chair. Listen to the drivers. They know best. Now that I've spoken about my solution, I will now get into what the opposition has to say. what they'll say is that they're well equipped, that Pirelli, the tire manufacturer, they designed wet tires specifically to be used in the rain. As you can see, these indents or the channels, the purpose for it is so water can come in and come out of it. Finally, that little bit of traction. Pirelli claims that these tires disperse 85 liters of water per second at the speed of about 182 miles an hour. But after the death of the Layano, Pirelli race manager, went on an interview and he said that he agrees that these tires need improvement in performance and in visibility. Yes, these tires disperse water, but the traction it does find is not nearly enough to be racing in. Also, it does such a good job of dispersing water, it creates that spray that we've all seen, that I've spoken about earlier, that spray that killed Leon. Now that I've spoken about what the opposition had to say, I can now conclude. First, I spoke about the problem of loss of control. Second, I spoke about the cause, accidents. And third, my solution. And fourth, what the opposition has to say. Drivers come and they drive to the absolute limit despite conditions, tire status, traffic, and racing cars, specifically single-seaters, they're impressively safe these days. This creates a perspective and confidence that you're unlikely to get injured given these drivers' false sense of safety. In what sport do you see a driver, an athlete, die before reaching their prime? They can't keep putting the lives of these drivers in the hands of fate.